In this video, what I would like to talk to you about is relationships and how you can make your relationship last a lifetime. Okay, the longevity of your relationship is the most important. Okay, and it's going to be based on the opportunity that you two would get to meet each other, and it wouldn't be by coincidence. Okay, and then to be vigilant within the relationship, to always maintain your position. If you're the male, you're a king. If you're the female, you're a queen. And to love each other to eternity. Okay? So number one is going to be love. Longevity, opportunity, vigilant, eternity. Okay? The number two thing you want to learn about a relationship and how to make it last a lifetime. There must be no drugs and alcohol in the family. Must be no drugs, no alcohol to set the way for your family. Okay? To set the structure within the family. Which will lead me, now if your wife's on drugs, your husband's on drugs, most of the people that I've ever seen are prostitutes. And they do anything for the drugs. Me, on the other hand, I didn't have that problem. But I did act foolish on alcohol. I act foolish on both. Because it makes you a foolish character. It brings you to your lowest character you possibly be, while still trying to maintain the highest version of yourself, because your highest version is going to war with your lowest version, and the two are fighting for the position. And this is your own spiritual warfare, that you're at war with yourself. So you'll have that within the relationship. If there's drugs and alcohol, both characters will be at war with themselves. Okay? There would be no unity. Okay? It'd be division, arguing, chaos, fighting, real hand-to-hand combat, where the female decides to take her expression of emotions that she's feeling out on him by maybe putting her hands on him. And it could be the opposite. The male's been drinking or doing drugs and he ends up beating his wife. Okay? Too much alcohol, you'll beat your wife. Why? Because you probably want her to shut up. She's ruining your buzz. Okay? Now she's your buzzkill. Number three. Responsibilities. Okay? Everybody has a duty to uphold. And it's required for the first two to play out for responsibilities to occur. Okay? There needs to be no drugs, no alcohol in order for you to be taking care of your responsibilities. There needs to be love in the family, or in the two, to keep the family alive. Okay? Because when the two cut it and split, after the two became one and created one, which is the equation 2 equals 1, then you ultimately destroy half of your child. It's been destroyed because you took a piece of the soul away from it that was nurturing the child. So if the mother leaves out of the relationship, the child will ultimately suffer from the father not being in the house. It'll take the spirit away. Because when the two opposites came together and created one, they shared a chromosome, a spiritual chromosome, not seen to the naked eye. It goes down to the nanoscale level. And then there's so many different links to it that it's not even been fully understood yet. No one will probably, not in this lifetime. Okay? The next thing you want to understand is number 4, the royalty mindset. If you want a relationship to last a lifetime, it must be under royalty. Okay? Proper sitting up and down. Proper eating. This is your morals and your values and standards. Okay? This is where the royalty mindset is going to come into play. Because what a royal mindset means is that the male will play out his king position and the female will play her role of the queen. Which means if she wants to talk to the king, she has to come to the king's chamber. Okay? There's no opposite around it. You know, now if the king needs to see her, he'll obviously send a bodyguard to go collect her. But that could get a little dangerous. So the king must go do it himself, because you never know if your bodyguard's falling in love with your queen. Okay? So be aware of friends and family members falling in love with your wife or your husband. Okay? And that drugs and alcohol, if it does play a part in the relationship, they will sleep around on you with a friend or family or even possibly a stranger. Okay? Number 5, communication. Okay? You need to have communication within the barriers of the home structure and the community. Okay? This is a very important aspect to the relationship to last a lifetime. With no communication, there is no relation. Okay? You have nothing to relate to. There's just nothing going on. You have nothing to share. Now, there could be a coincidence where the character may be antisocial, so he doesn't have the, or she doesn't have the learning skills in the area of starting communication. Okay? Which is starting a conversation, but once they enter into the conversation, then they have plenty to talk about. It just maybe this is especially when they first meet, okay? When they first meet, it's a lot of, it's a different experience than if you knew the person for a little while, okay? Because then you got that comfortable time around them and you've come out of your shell a little bit. You're not such a hermit crab, okay? Number 6, very important, healthcare. Okay, when you guys are getting old and you're starting to get rusty, you need to be oiled up and geared up. Okay, you need to go, like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, he needed his oil. When he started drying up, well, boy, he was struggling. It was a sad day for him or her. And what you get out of this is that you guys will always be there during each other's failures in health, okay? Because you will have a failure of one of the organs, okay? The organs will fail. It's guaranteed. You're going into decomposing stages. There is no way you could tell me you're not going to have some type of healthcare problem when it leads to death, okay? The physical leads to death. And we don't get long life here, so average is about 75 to 78 years old, okay? The next thing you want to understand is number 7, okay? In order to have a relationship last a lifetime, you're building memories, okay? Memories. The whole entire networking system from here on out is going to be between you and the opposing character, which is the law of attraction. The law of attraction does not work for same-sex marriage. Okay, you can't tell me that you were looking at the opposite. He was not the opposite when you met him. You guys were the both. You were playing the male. He was just unfortunately playing a female, but you can't call that the law of attraction because you weren't attracted to the opposite. You were attracted to the man. And you got to be aware of that, because once you break the law of attraction, you went against the Creator. And that's blasphemy. That's like breaking one of the worst laws on the planet, because you broke the creation law. I mean, you're talking about cats, dogs, everything's got the opposite on its mind. But you, humans, got the freaking same sex going on in this place. The awareness of consciousness, you have none. You're worse than something that barely has any conscious development unless it's being trained. You're foolish. Okay? First off, you're playing in what we call, my cat does. You know what my cat does? It eats from the litter box sometimes. And that's what it reminds me of when I first came across the video called Two Girls in One Cup. Okay? That was a very disturbing video of a hot sundae in somebody's mouth. And I was like, holy smokes. Or when you get the truth or dare, I dare you to go eat dog shit. Okay? Or human shit. And then they go and eat each other's ass. Okay? Could get that bad. It could get that bad really fast. And then that's not building memories. That's destroying memories. Okay? So you want to build memories. The opposite of building memories is destroying memories. Which means you're going to destroy your family. Okay? If there's a split in the relationship. And there's been a child involved. You just destroyed memories. Okay? You destroyed the memories based on your selfishness. Sometimes the character says he or she doesn't want to leave, but the character doesn't want to work it out. It doesn't believe it'll ever change. The character will never change. The character always stay the same. And she's been plotting on you, or he's been plotting on you with another character. Okay? And what I want to talk to you about is the next one. This one's very important. Is number 8. Okay? Family equals children. Okay? Family equals children. Family equals children. And what the equation to this one is, there's an equation to it. It's in the Bible. It's called 2 equals 1. Okay, that's the equation to the math equation, to the sequence of how the law of creation works. Okay, it takes 2 to create 1. Now you can have a rare, it's rare, but you can have triplets, you can have quadruplets, you can even have twins. Okay, twins. Okay, and then the equation will slightly be tweaked a little bit. But that's rare. But the main creation law equation is 2 equals 1. Okay? That's what you need to understand about that. And it takes 2 of the opposite to create the 1. No same sex can ever create. None. It's not. The reproductive system will tell you that. It's impossible. It is impossible. She would have to provide the seed of life, which does not carry in any female, and he would have to or he would have to carry the egg of life, and that's not going to happen in neither one of them is going to carry it. So she's never going to have the seed of life, and he's never going to have the egg of life. He's never going to go through 12 periods in a year, and go all the way up to her menstrual cycle, which is the final cycle of the eggs. Okay? Before she becomes a cat in heat. Okay? But she's in heat the whole time. It starts when she basically hits puberty. This is when the males will target them. Okay? This is when they target your daughters. Puberty. Okay? Why? Because she's in heat. It's like a cat. Female cat in heat. It'll rub its butt up against you sometimes. Okay? Number 9. The family must be built on structure. No structure, no family, no relationship, no love. It's just lust. Okay? And what lust is the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh. Your flesh wanted to have sex with her. Your eye saw her attractive. But was it what you really intended? Did you really intend to communicate properly. Okay, because this is where communication is going to come into play, because lust is, there's going to be a broken barrier between the communication now. Eventually, one's not going to talk to the other one as much, or it's going to be texting it short, or it's not going to be responding, or it's going to be arguing, fighting. You can see many different scenarios when lust is involved, and it always stems from this communication system. Okay? And another thing that lust will do is also brings in drugs and alcohol. Okay? Drugs and alcohol in the family will destroy a family. It'll literally kill the tree. It's designed and weaponized to take out the tree from the stump, the root. Okay? You want to kill your tree? Go ahead. Kill your foundation, which is the structure. Okay? You all know that the foundation to a house needs to be built before you get the structure of the house. Okay? So the foundation is the most important. You build your foundation on these top 8, and you'll have a structure to the house. Okay? This is the house of God. I am the light of the world. If you were a child of light, you are considered I am the light of the world. Okay? And you must bear witness and carry the torch through the dark tunnels and shine your light for people. Be the light of the world. Do not be afraid of what's surrounding you, because 1,000 may fall at your right hand, 10,000 may fall at your left hand, but you're going to be the one standing still, because your light, they could not overcome the light of the world. Okay? They'll never be able to overcome the light. And this is what a family of light will look like. This is I am the light. Okay? This is what a real relationship will look like if you want it to last a lifetime, which is from the time you guys meet, which is most likely going to be high school sweethearts, and you're going to lead yourself into this path where you're going to die of old age together. One will die first before the other. It's just the way it goes. So you're going to have to accept which one you're going to die. Okay? And you're both going to have to write the wills up. Okay? You got to write separate wills. This is if you're organized under responsibilities. You got a responsibility to not only write your will, but for her to write her will as well. If you're a male, it's a male's job to write his. It's a female's job. Just in case one dies before the other, you leave a love letter. Okay? You want to leave a John Deere letter? Leave a John Deere letter. Okay? Or Dear John. Nah, you know what? Make it better. Write a notebook letter. Okay? Write your wife, because she might have Alzheimer's. And if she's got Alzheimer's or dementia, by the time she hits old age, you could be in it for a long run, buddy. It could be a lot more harder to keep this relationship going, because now she can't remember you. And she's terrified when she forgets. She thinks of you as a stranger in the house. Why is there a stranger in the house? And it could just go on and on down the list on different type of illnesses. When the brain starts to go into decomposing stages, what it looks like. Okay? Now, when the brain starts to break down and go into these decomposing stages, one of them will be autism. Okay? That's the stage of dysphoria. Okay? Which is, it didn't form properly within the structure of the skull. Okay? And the firing system of how the brain fires throughout the entire body to the organism itself, to the organs, is not firing properly, which means the character actually has a bunch of check engine lights on it. No one has an OBD2 reader to read what kind of pressure valves may be off, what could be off inside of the body, but God would know. Only God would know where the root problem is within the child. Maybe the parents were eating some type of food that has a type of chemical in it that didn't react to the deformity of the baby. Okay, this is how autism really happens. Okay, it usually stems from chemicals. Okay, it always stems from chemicals, but unnatural chemicals. Okay, not the natural chemicals. Now, Now, there are incidents where you may have a child that's born and it has both parts. It's a hermaphrodite. If it's a hermaphrodite, that was another deformity, okay?